The Toyota RAV4 is one of the best-selling vehicles in America year after year. Not just popular, dominant. But here's the uncomfortable question most people never ask. Is it actually that good, or just engineered to feel good enough? Because later in this video, I'm going to show you one design decision buried deep in the drivetrain that explains why the RAV4 lasts so long, but also why it will never drive like its competitors. And in the final section, I'll break down whether you're actually getting value or just buying into a reputation. At first glance, the RAV4 looks like the perfect SUV, reliable, efficient, practical. But there's a small engineering compromise inside its transmission and engine pairing. It seems harmless. But in the last section, I'll show you how that one compromise defines everything about how this SUV behaves, from acceleration to long-term durability. Keep that in mind. Why the RAV4 sells so much and what that really means. Let's start with the obvious question. Why does the RAV4 sell in such massive numbers across the United States? It's not styling, it's not performance, and it's not even technology. It's consistency. Toyota has spent decades refining one core philosophy: remove variability. From an engineering standpoint, variability is what causes failures. Heat spikes, pressure inconsistencies, aggressive tuning, unpredictable loads. The RAV4 is designed to avoid all of that. The engine is understressed, the transmission avoids shock loads, the cooling system is oversized for normal use. This sounds smart, and it is. But here's the trade-off. When you remove variability, you also remove excitement. And that leads directly to the next question. If everything is tuned for safety and longevity, what are you giving up? The engine, built to last, not to impress. Under the hood, most RAV4 models use a naturally aspirated 2.5-liter inline-4 engine. On paper, it's average, but mechanically, it's extremely deliberate. This engine uses a longer stroke relative to bore size, which increases torque efficiency at lower RPMs. Translation? Better fuel economy, lower stress during daily driving, less aggressive combustion cycles. But here's what matters more. The engine rarely operates near its limits. That's not accidental, that's engineering discipline. Unlike turbocharged competitors, which push more air and pressure into the combustion chamber. The RAV4 avoids forced induction in most trims. Why? Because turbocharging introduces higher heat, increased cylinder pressure, more complex failure points. So instead, Toyota sacrifices peak power to gain long-term stability. This sounds like a perfect trade until you merge onto a highway. Because now you're asking an under-stressed engine to suddenly deliver performance it was never designed to prioritize. And this leads to the next problem. The transmission, the real story. Here's where things get interesting. The RAV4 uses an 8-speed automatic transmission in gas models and an ECVT in hybrids. Let's focus on the automatic first. This transmission is tuned for one thing: smoothness over responsiveness. Gear shifts are intentionally softened. Torque delivery is dampened. Throttle input is filtered before reaching the drivetrain. Why? Because sudden torque spikes are what wear out. Clutches, gear teeth, internal seals. So instead of reacting instantly, the RAV4 pauses. That slight hesitation you feel when accelerating? That's not a flaw, that's protection. But here's the trade-off. You lose immediacy. The car doesn't feel connected. And over time, that disconnect becomes noticeable, especially if you drive anything else. Now let's talk about the hybrid. Because this is where things get even more engineered. The hybrid system, where Toyota dominates. The RAV4 hybrid uses an electronically controlled continuously variable transmission, ECVT. This is not the same as a traditional CVT. There are no belts slipping between pulleys. Instead, it uses a planetary gear system combined with electric motors. That means fewer wear components, smooth power delivery, instant torque from electric assist. From an engineering perspective, it's brilliant. The electric motor fills in the exact gaps where the gasoline engine is weakest. Low-speed acceleration, stop-and-go traffic initial throttle response. So the hybrid version feels quicker, even if it's not dramatically more powerful. But here's the part most people miss. The hybrid system reduces stress on the gasoline engine. That means lower RPM spikes, less thermal cycling, reduced long-term wear. This is one of the biggest reasons why RAV4 hybrids often last longer than expected. But this leads to a deeper question. If the hybrid is mechanically superior in many ways, why doesn't everyone just buy that version? Keep that in mind, because it matters later. If you think this is just about fuel economy, the next part changes everything. Because now we're going to talk about something most buyers never consider: how the RAV4 is engineered for aging. Engineering for 10+ years, not 3 years. Most vehicles are designed to feel impressive when new. The RAV4 is designed to feel the same after 10 years. That's a completely different engineering target. Here's how Toyota does it. 1. Conservative tuning. Nothing operates at maximum output for extended periods. 2. Thermal management cooling systems are designed with margin, not precision. 3. Material choice components are selected for fatigue resistance, not minimum weight. 4. Software behavior. Throttle, shifting, and power delivery are intentionally softened. Individually, these choices seem small, but together they create something powerful: predictable aging. The car doesn't degrade suddenly. It slowly, gradually, almost invisibly changes over time. That's why owners trust it. But here's the catch. You feel that conservatism every single day, and that leads to the next issue: why it feels boring, and why that's on purpose. Let's be direct. The RAV4 is not fun to drive, and that's not a mistake. It's a consequence of engineering priorities. Everything we discussed: soft throttle mapping, delayed transmission response, understressed engine, all of it removes urgency from the driving experience. But urgency is exactly what causes mechanical shock, heat spikes, component fatigue, so Toyota eliminates it. From an enthusiast perspective, that feels like a loss. From an engineering perspective, it's a win. But here's the interesting part. Some competitors are doing the opposite: turbocharged engines, dual clutch transmissions, aggressive tuning. They feel better in the short term, but over long periods, they introduce more variables. And variability is where failures begin. So now we arrive at the real question: is it actually worth your money? Let's break this down logically. You're not just buying a car, you're buying a set of engineering decisions. With the RAV4, those decisions are: prioritize reliability over performance, prioritize consistency over excitement, prioritize long-term ownership over short-term satisfaction. So is it worth it? Yes, if your priorities match the engineering. The RAV4 makes sense if you want predictable ownership. You value low-maintenance surprises. You plan to keep the vehicle long-term, but it may not be worth it if you expect responsive acceleration. You enjoy driving engagement. You compare it to more dynamic SUVs. And now we come back to the early callback. That compromise between engine and transmission, that slight hesitation, that's the cost of everything you gain. Longevity, reliability, stability. It's not a flaw. It's the price of the design philosophy. The thing most people miss. Here's the part most buyers never realize. The RAV4 isn't engineered to impress you during a test drive. It's engineered to never disappoint you later. That's a completely different goal than most vehicles on the market. And once you understand that, the entire car makes sense. But this raises a bigger question. If manufacturers like Toyota remove performance to gain reliability, what happens when they go too far? In the next video, I'll break down what engineers had to start adding back into modern SUVs after years of removing too much. Because the balance between durability and driving experience is starting to shift again.